Good morning. So today I promised we were going to fly from EDDM to Switzerland. It's not a huge flight, or at least a long flight, so we're going to take off, loop around Munich off to the north. We should get a decent view of Munich, I hope. We didn't really see much as we came in, just due to the sunlight blinding it. We could kind of see where it was, but not much. We'll fly over this pretty lake, and then we'll start our descent down into Zurich. I looked at a couple other airports to run into, and I think Sion was one, and where's the one I was actually going to go into? Oh, always good when you lose it. Over here, maybe? Yeah, Samdan. I'm really probably butchering the names of those, so apologies. But they don't really have ILS, and it doesn't look like a lot of large planes fly in from the satellite imagery. Sion, I don't even think you can book stuff to now. It looks pretty small. So jets, it looks like a brutally fun approach to come in down this narrow canyon. So I may fly there in a Learjet or private jet, but I may try this one as well. And the southern approach on this one looks like a lot of fun because you come in over these cool lakes, over the mountain, and then you drop down into the runway. Now, I don't know what this drop is, so I don't know if you actually would do this type of an approach, or if you just have to fly up the valley from the north and land on it. I don't know. I'm going to assume that's what you have to do. But we'll see. There's no ILS to it, so it's just going to have to be a manual approach and flight. But with all the canyons and mountains and cool stuff in Switzerland, it should be a fun place to go. Likewise, I noticed that there was an alert up here the other day that basically said all of my texture packs required an update. It ended up being 20 gigs worth of updates for all of the different texture packs that had released. So maybe that'll have something to do with performance. Maybe it'll have something to do with some other updates. They've also updated the game to 19.9, I believe now. So we'll see if things work any better in this. Let's load in. Got my Swiss Air livery on the plane, which is great. But I'm really hoping that this latest version and these texture updates help balance out some of the overall performance issues, and I really want to get back into flying in VR. The last experience in the F-22, it sure was pretty, but the focus issues and problems were just really annoying. And I know it's not my headset, because when I play other games, I don't have the same focus issue that I did last time I played Flight Simulator. The focal point remains pretty much dead center of the eyepieces, and you can't really look off to the sides without things getting a little bit blurry. I get that, but when I was looking at stuff right in front of my face, it was still pretty blurry, and that's really not a good way to handle it. All right, good of the textures to be there. All right, I'm gonna zip this ahead, get us ready for flight, and then we'll be back. Okay, so definitely some glitches at the airport here. Not what I wanted. You can see all of the aprons are messed up and stuffed inside the terminal over here for some reason. It looks like they're the same on the other side. That's not good. This one you can see isn't even lined up with the building right, so yeah, good job. Don't know what's going on there. I had wanted to taxi and go off of this other runway down here, but that's okay. No tug, no baggage, no options, so definitely not off to a great start. I managed to back out pretty damn well, if I do say so myself. Thank you, Thrust Reverse, and working as a valet. So, with that said, let's get taxiing and get ourselves where we need to go.
SWR112 tree at runway 08 left ready for departure IFR to Zurich.
SWR112 tree altimeter 29.9er, 2 with 268 at 7. Cleared for takeoff runway 08 left.
Cleared for takeoff runway 08 left SWR112 tree.
Okay, so in playing Terra 3D, you know the planes park out here on the runway and then they go up to that corner where the arrows are at the left of the runway and then they turn and line up. Whereas these show a clear, progressive, active roll path for these planes to get close enough to the runway, jam those throttles, and just get the heck out of Dodge because the airport's busy enough and has enough activity that they want these planes moving and rolling. So this really shows how broken Terra 3D's mapping is for these planes and the activity, because this is a lot better and makes so much more sense for the way the game and everything should be running instead of the way that it is. Though I'm grossly not flying down the center of the line there. Let's aim the plane right. Okay, we're coming up on my V1 speed. There goes the nose coming up. And we are airborne. Gear up. Let us throttle back into auto throttle range. Autopilot begin the turn. Flaps are up. Slats retracting on the front. And we are gone.
Going to 120.65 SWR112 tree. Munic center SWR112 tree is at 3,100 feet, climbing 13,000 feet.
SWR112 tree Munic center altimeter 29.9er, 2 continue as planned. SWR112 tree, keep speed not above 250 knots.
Keep speed not above 250 knots SWR112 tree.
Okay, throttling back down for the plane. Let's come down here. Map the range out as we turn this sucker. We should be heading towards Munich. Okay, that was a smooth takeoff. We're doing a very slow climb to 13,000. Don't really know why it's going so slow, but hey, I'll let the game figure that out. Feels like they might have messed with autopilot again. Especially because of all the arrivals that are flying this part of the path. Now maybe they're flying me under the arrivals, but that seems to be an odd way of doing it. I would think the departures, who are going to be turning and going in all kinds of directions, it would make more sense to get them up above all those arrival paths and then fly off wherever they need to go. So maybe that's what it's doing. It's having my climb rate stay very slow while I'm here in this area. But if I recall, well, I guess I'm only at 6,600 feet, so I think I was a bit higher when I was doing my angular fun approach, so maybe I'm wrong. But I'm going to turn and head down towards the main city, I think, for a part here. Should begin our turn any moment. Yep, here comes the turn. I forgot to activate all this stuff. Beacon, strobe on. Don't need those off anymore. I'll keep those retracted. Don't need those. Need you. APU, exit power is off. We're good. Panel lighting is fine. Seatbelts, no smoking. Guess I can only turn it on, whatever. Dome light, and oh, that's good. Okay. Alright, so the city of Munich, if I recall, is down here from the map. Love to visit in person. We do seem to have jumped in the altitude climb there once I made that turn, so I think it might have been just part of the flight glide slope for all the planes coming in. I don't know. We've definitely slowed down now as we're nearing my altitude of 13,000. It shouldn't be too long of a flight down into Switzerland. We don't have that far to go, so we'll leave it at that. And we'll see you when we start getting close to the airport. Alright, so we are on our way down. Still moving a wee bit fast, but that's alright. We gotta go out and come back. I'm gonna try to do this a little more normally, where we don't fly at 2 miles an hour for the entire flight. Typically I just come in way too stinking slow, and that's okay, but I want to try and make it a little more natural. I'm not going to drop the gear 15 hours early. Hopefully I just armed the spoilers correctly. I don't know if you caught it in some of the flights. We didn't quite get up to our 26,000 feet flight level before the system tried to bring us back down, which is fine. That's not a problem. But I did noticed that when I started my descent, did it bring us down fast. They made some adjustments to the autopilot since I was last in here, and it is definitely bringing you down hard and fast. We were coming down at 4,600 feet per minute, I think it was, which is just, woo, make your passengers nauseous coming down like that. Anyway, interesting to see and do. Is that what the heck is that? It looks like an airplane in flight that they took a picture of on its way into the runway. Yeah, it looks like that's a plane that was landing and a satellite took a picture of it, and so they just stuck it on the field. That's hilarious. Alright, so we're doing pretty good right now. As we make our bank here in a second, I will take auto throttle off and kick my flaps up a little more. Looks like there's a United plane on its way in. Nope, they're just flying around. I want to cut auto throttle. We're going to hit our turn here in just a second. Okay. Speed's coming down. I want to try to be at 160 here in a minute. Okay, throttle down. We don't need to go too fast here. Now that we've slowed down enough to make a descent. There's United off to my right. You can't see him. Yep, there he is, just dipping down. Might be able to see him now. Okay. Okay, I want to kick. Yeah, there it is. Landing. Want my landing system on. We need to get ready to turn approach on. We're gonna start coming around. See, autopilot brought me in really hard to the right. Ooh, hello, plane above me. Where the heck are you going? Alright, now we're starting our turn. We are riding really close to minimums here. I need to throttle up to keep my speed in check. Okay, I want approach on now. Throttle down, flaps 3. Slow me down. Okay, here we go. We can slow down just a little bit more here. We still have another layer of flaps to drop. My gear's not down. We're in the wind channel for the ground area, so you can see the plane crabbing a bit as we are not lined up with that runway. Okay, plane's slowing down. We're gonna kick flaps on again. Okay, flaps are full. We are crabbing something wicked. It's gonna be a hairy approach. We're on the good glide slope.
SWR112 now retrieve for landing. Follow the generic on final.
Well, considering the generic in front of me on final is dropping from 4,000 feet.
Cleared to land runway 16 number tree SWR112.
Okay, plane, you really need to turn to the right. This is going to be a messed up landing. Dropping landing gear. Okay.
United 134 go around.
One-
Alpine 5861 exit runway when able.
Yeah, these AI is kind of messed up today. But we are on an approach. We are still crabbing something fierce. I don't like that. Okay, I'm going to put the mouse over autopilot because I want to kill that. I really hope my slats deploy. United is going around. It's interesting.
United 134 contact Zurich approach on 120.75.
Pappy lights look good. We are coming in.
Alpine 5861 exit runway when able. Euro winds 9 or
We're coming in at a good speed too, because you can see the arrow right there is set to 140, so my speed's looking good right now.
120.75 United 134.
500 feet, crossing in. Plane's crabbed into a good position.
Going around Euro wing, Snyder 762.
Autopilot off.
Euro winds 9 or 762 contact Zurich approach on 130.56. Good day. SWR112 go around.
Nope.
Alpine 5861 exit runway when able. Alpine 5861 contact ground on 121.9.05.
Wow, I don't know what the heck happened there.
130.56 for Euro wing Snyder 762.
It's one heck of a wind. It blew me pretty hard. There the slats go. Thank you.
Alpine 5861.
Sweet, they did work. I just didn't do the approach right.
Tower Euro wing 776.013 miles northwest, inbound for TND runway 16 approach.
Euro wind 7760 Dubendorf Tower. Altimeter 29
Okay, Eurowings is blocking me.
Cleared VO or DME runway 16 approach.
Okay, good. The slots are going down on their own again. Beautiful. I finally figured it out.
16 approach, Euro wind
Okay.
7760.
Eurowings is in my way, so I will pull off here. Wow, that's a lot of planes on the ground. Oops, overshot my turn. Lag. We are on the ground. Okay, I don't need a pushback.
Zurich ground SWR1123 taxi to the gate.
SWR1123 taxi to gauge Alpha 13 using taxiway Bravo Echo cross runway 10 Echo Alpha.
Taxiing to gate Alpha 13 via taxiway Bravo Echo cross runway 10 Echo Alpha SWR1123.
Wow, look at the ground. That's so pretty. Love it. Not loving my FPS here, and that's probably because of these 500 airplanes that are here. Chomping out at my FPS. Too much thrust. Get up there. I need to turn off you, turn you off. I don't have my taxi lights on, so that doesn't matter. Well, at least we're taxiing where I want to go. Taxi to the gates works. That was a fun little flight. The landing I actually did okay at. I think I kept too much thrust a bit too long this time, whereas before I float the stupid thing in. This time I did really well. I kept it at a good level. Just once I took off autopilot, I didn't throttle down quite enough. I was a little preoccupied with trying to stay lined up on the runway. And then I realized a bit too late when I bounced a bit hard. The rear wheels stayed mostly on the ground where the front came off a little bit and lifted. But I managed to get it back down, and then once I slammed on the thrust reversers, the slats deployed and everything started slowing down beautifully. So the system works. Now that I know what I'm doing, I think I can say I finally can control the Airbus properly. I did notice though that the crosswind across that runway made it really difficult for me to angle the wings to try and steer the plane back the direction I wanted to go. I had to really slam the rudder, and it kind of pulled on the front wheels a little bit to actually get the plane back on track, which not ideal or realistic, I think, so that was not the best. But other than that little snafu, I think that was a pretty good flight. Short little hop in from Munich. Decent, fairly realistic commuter flight. I enjoyed that. And I do think I will do a couple flights around the Alps here, because I want to fly into some of those fun little airports, so we'll break out the small jets for a little while, now that I finally get this plane figured out properly. And then we'll probably do some more flights around Europe, just because there's so much fun stuff to see. So I think we may fly down into Italy and then head over to Austria. Oh, sweet, automatic. That's new. I don't have to request the gate. Sweet. Okay, that's just awesome. Let's get baggage in. Alright, so that was a fun flight. Okay, I don't know where my power truck's going, but anyway. Hope you enjoyed that. It was kind of a short little hop over here. This was fun, and I think I will take off from this airport and head over to my destinations in the Alps before we head down to a couple places in Italy, have some other fun, maybe go over to Greece, and then maybe head over to Russia and kind of hop skip around the world, and then maybe go back through LAX. I don't know. We'll see. But definitely loving the Airbus. It's such a great little plane in this game. Flies like I hoped it would. Does what I needed to. The controls are good. It's very user-friendly, so I really like it. I'll stop yapping. Thank you for watching. We will see you next time.